Welcome to the deep dive. We dig into the stories, often really surprising ones, hidden inside the data. Today, we're looking at something that sparkles, literally. It's the global necklace pendants market. Now, you might think, okay, pendants seems kind of specific, but it's this amazing window into personal style, global economics, even cultural shifts. We're going to give you the essentials on this really vibrant little corner of the economy.
Exactly. And our goal here isn't to just throw numbers at you. We want to pull out the really key insights. We've looked at detailed research starting from 2021 and projecting way out to 2033. So we can see what's really driving this market, where the growth is happening, and maybe what it tells us about, well, us, how we buy things.
Okay, let's dive in then. The big picture first. Looking globally, what's the main takeaway for necklace pendants? I gather it's been growing pretty consistently.
Oh, absolutely. Consistent upward trend. It's not just some flash in the pan, it's solid growth. The numbers show sales revenue went from just over $1.9 billion back in 2021 to about 2.4 cents, maybe 2.425 billion by 2025. And the forecast, it's projected to get close to $3.95 billion by 2033.
Wow, okay, so almost doubling from that 2021 number.
Pretty much. And that works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 6.28%. Steady as she goes, really.
6.28% globally. That's quite healthy, especially for something like pendants. So what's behind that? Is it just, people having more money to spend?
Well, that's part of it for sure. Rising disposable income globally definitely fuels demand for fashion accessories in general. But there's something more specific happening with jewelry and pendants especially. It's this major shift towards personalization.
Personalization, how so?
People don't just want a necklace, they want their necklace. Something unique, maybe customized, a pendant that tells their story, or marks a special moment. It's less about just wearing expensive stuff and more about expressing who you are. That's a huge driver for pendants because they're so versatile for that.
Interesting. So individual expression is really pushing the market. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. North America. Big market, I assume.
Definitely a major player. Revenues were around $764 million in 2021, and that's heading towards nearly $1.5 billion by 2033. So yeah, solid growth. The CAGR there is about 5.76%.
Okay, 5.76%. And within North America, the U.S. must be huge. But what about Canada and Mexico? Any surprises?
Yeah, the U.S. is the heavyweight, obviously, over half the market. Started at almost $522 million in 2021, heading to $973 million. Its growth is a bit slower, though, CAGR of 5.35%, steady but not super high.
Okay.
Canada's doing well, $181 million going up to $374.5 million. That's a 6.25% CAGR. Pretty strong.
Right.
But Mexico, now that's where it gets really interesting.
Mexico, really?
Yeah.
Faster growth there?
Significantly faster. It started smaller, sure, around $61 million in 2021, but it's projected to hit almost $145 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 7.53%.
Wow, 7.53%. That beats the U.S. and Canada. Why? What's going on in Mexico?
It seems to be a mix of things. A really vibrant, creative scene down there, strong cultural value placed on, colorful personal adornment. You've got traditional crafts meeting modern fashion. And pendants are perfect for that kind of self-expression, especially for younger people with maybe a bit more cash.
That makes sense, linking back to that personalization trend you mentioned. Okay, cool. Let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe, what's the story there? Similar patterns.
Europe's a big market, too. $367 million or so in 2021, expected to grow to over $718 million by 2033. The overall CAGR is quite similar to North America, actually, 5.78%.
Okay, similar overall. But you said earlier these things can vary a lot by country. Is that true for Europe?
Oh, absolutely. It's really a patchwork. You've got the big economies like the UK and Germany. They started around the same level, about $73 million each in 2021, and they're projected to reach about $137 million by 2033. Their KGRs are quite similar, too, around 5.37%. Steady, predictable.
Right, tracking the average.
Yeah. Then you have France, growing from about $48 million to nearly $87 million. Italy, from $37 million up to almost $72 million. Russia's CGR is actually pretty good, 6.34% though, from a smaller base.
Okay. Any standouts in terms of faster growth?
Yes, definitely. Look at Spain. Its CAGR is 7.09%. That's noticeably higher than the big guys like the UK and Germany, growing from $34 million to nearly $77 million.
Interesting. Spain's punching above its weight there.
And even more fascinating, perhaps, is the rest of Europe category. So lots of smaller markets grouped together. That segment is surging. The CAGR is 8.26%.
Whoa, 8.26%. That's huge.
It really is. It suggests that in some of these maybe less traditional jewelry markets, there's a real boom happening, maybe driven by local designers, unique tastes. Something's definitely clicking there.
Shows you can't just look at the big countries.
Mhm.
Okay, let's talk about the region that seems to be driving everything these days, Asia Pacific. What are the numbers telling us there?
Yeah, Asia Pacific is absolutely the engine room for growth in this market, no question. The revenue started at over $526 million in 2021 and is projected to skyrocket to over $1.2 billion by 2033.
Over $1 billion just in APAC.
Yep. And that's driven by the highest regional KGR globally, an impressive 7.18%.
Okay, 7.18%. That's massive. Is it just China powering that, or is it broader?
China is definitely a huge part of it. It leads the region, started at $195 million, heading towards nearly $491 million. That's a very strong 7.89% CAGR.
Right, big number.
Japan and South Korea are also really significant contributors, adding a lot of volume. But you asked about standouts? India. India is just phenomenal.
What's happening there?
India has the highest CGR within the region and one of the highest globally, 8.94%.
Almost 9%. Wow.
Yeah, it's scaling from about $57 million in 2021 to almost $159 million by 2033.
Why such incredible growth in India?
It's deeply cultural, jewelry, gifting jewelry, wearing jewelry for festivals, weddings, everyday life. It's ingrained. Combine that deep cultural connection with rapidly rising incomes and a booming online shopping scene, and boom, you get massive demand for both traditional and modern personalized pendants.
That cultural factor really makes a difference. Anyone else notable in APAC?
Australia is strong. Southeast Asia as a whole is doing well. The rest of APAC's category also shows a really high CGR, 8.22%. Interestingly, Singapore shows more modest growth, around 4.58% CGR. Kind of puts the others into perspective, maybe shows a more mature market dynamic there.
Fascinating contrast across the region. Okay, let's move to South America. What's the picture for pendants there? Emerging market potential.
Definitely emerging potential. The revenue growth is solid, from about $106 million in 2021 up to nearly $229 million by 2033. That's a CEGR of 6.51%, so growing nicely.
Okay, 6.51%. And who leads the pack in South America? Any specific trends?
Brazil is the biggest market by share. Started around $49 million, heading towards $104 million, so steady growth there. But Colombia is one to watch.
Colombia again, like Mexico,
Yeah.
showing surprising strength.
Exactly. Its KGR is projected at 8.03%, really strong. And what's interesting there is the analysis suggests it's particularly strong in the sort of luxury end of accessories, so maybe a growing appetite for higher-end, unique pieces.
Interesting niche driving growth. What about other countries?
Argentina, Peru, Chile, they're all showing pretty robust KGRs too, mostly in the 6% to 8% range. So it's quite broad growth across the key South American markets.
Good to see. Okay, 2 regions left. Middle East, known for its love of jewelry, right?
Absolutely, and the pendant market reflects that. It grew from about $80 million in 2021 and is expected to hit over $177 million by 2033. The CAGR there is 6.89%, very healthy.
And within the Middle East, who are the main players?
Saudi Arabia leads the way in terms of demand. Started at $31 million, projected to reach nearly $75 million. Turkey, the UAE, and Egypt are also significant contributors, following Saudi Arabia. Qatar is interesting, though. It shows more moderate growth, actually the lowest regional side GR at 4.85%.
Another example of variation even within a region. Okay, finally, let's touch on Africa. How does it fit into this global picture?
Africa's market is currently the smallest in terms of overall size, starting at $57 million in 2021, but it's projected to more than double, reaching about $118.4 million by 2033. The CAGR is 5.85%.
So decent growth, but from a smaller base. Are there any particular bright spots emerging in Africa?
Yes, Nigeria stands out. It's actually projected to be the fastest growing market in the region, with a CAGR of 6.31%.
Nigeria leading the charge. Interesting.
South Africa is also significant, growing from about $20.5 million to nearly $39 million. And the rest of Africa segment is expected to grow quite a bit, too. It suggests, as economies develop and fashion trends evolve, there's real opportunity opening up across the continent.
What a tour. It really paints a picture of a market that's, well, dynamic isn't quite the word. It's fascinating. You've got this steady global growth, but then these incredible stories within it. India's cultural boom, Mexico's creative drive, Colombia's niche luxury growth. It really gives you a much richer understanding than just looking at the global number. It connects back to how people live, how they express themselves.
Exactly. The big picture is growth, but the real story is in those regional and country level differences. It tells us so much about consumer tastes, economic shifts, cultural values. And maybe it leaves us with a thought, this continued sparkle in necklace pendants. What does it really say about how we define personal luxury today? And maybe how these seemingly small trends in things like jewelry might actually hint at bigger economic currents or shifts in identity over the next decade? Something to think about. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something, well, it seems wonderfully simple, but actually tells this really rich, complex story about us
Mm,
and about the modern market. Necklace pendants.
yeah.
You might just think, a bit of sparkle. But our sources for this deep dive, especially the evolving world of necklace pendants, show these little things reflect some major trends.
Absolutely. Consumer behavior, personal expression,
Yeah,
even our values.
exactly. So get ready because these glittering pieces, they hold some truly fascinating insights into how we adorn ourselves.
That's right. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how pendants have moved far beyond just like ornamentation.
Yeah. How so?
Well, they've become these powerful personal statements, right? Essential fashion bits that kind of adapt fluidly to the moment.
Okay.
And even, clear reflections of our ethical thinking as consumers.
Ah, interesting.
So our mission here in this deep dive is really to pull out the most important insights from all our source material. Give you a shortcut, basically.
A shortcut to understanding this whole vibrant market.
Exactly.
Okay. So consider this your express pass then. You get to be well informed about the necklace pendants market.
Hmm.
We'll uncover some surprising stuff, help you understand the key dynamics, all without, getting bogged down in jargon.
Sounds good.
Let's really dive in and unpack
Let's
this.
do it.
So if we look at the big picture, our source highlights this huge surge in the necklace pendant market. It seems driven by innovation, personalization. What's the real engine behind that growth, though?
Well, I'd say at its core, it's the growing demand for customized and personalized jewelry.
Okay.
Think about it. Consumers today, particularly millennials and Gen Z, they're not just looking for something pretty. Not anymore.
Right. What are they looking for then?
They're actively seeking pendants that tell their unique story, whether that's, initials, birthstones, custom engravings, maybe symbolic motifs. It's kind of a rebellion against just mass market stuff.
That makes so much sense. I mean, in this age of digital noise where everything feels so fleeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
A personalized pendant becomes this tangible anchor for your identity.
Exactly, a wearable statement.
Yeah, it cuts through those fleeting trends, offers a sense of enduring uniqueness, not just for self-expression, but also for genuinely meaningful gifts.
Right.
And that, I imagine, must really stimulate growth, both in, physical stores and the huge world of online marketplaces.
Indeed. And building on that point, the expansion of online jewelry shopping platforms, that's been an equally powerful catalyst.
Okay, e-commerce.
Yeah, e-commerce has genuinely brought elegance to, well, basically every doorstep. It's democratized access to stylish, affordable pendants in a way we really haven't seen before.
That's massive. It's not just about convenience, is it?
No, not at all.
I mean, from high-end collections down to those budget-friendly charm necklaces, online platforms offer global variety.
Right. And often better pricing, too,
And those cool virtual try-on tools, you
Yeah.
can actually see how it looks before you buy.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, I imagine that must dramatically change how people shop for this stuff.
It absolutely does. This digital convenience, it really enhances sort of impulsive buying behavior, too.
Ah, interesting point.
And it extends brand reach far beyond traditional retail zones. And adding to this momentum is the undeniable, almost gravitational pull of fashion trends and celebrity promotions.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for a lot of us, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, red carpet events, those viral Instagram reels, pendants shown off by influencers, celebrities, they play such a pivotal role in defining what's stylish.
A huge role.
We're talking everything from minimalist charms to zodiac medallions, classic lockets, those super popular layered
Oh,
styles.
the layering.
They just keep gaining traction, right?
Yeah.
Especially with younger, trend-driven consumers. How quickly do those endorsements actually translate into sales spikes? Is it
Yeah.
like instant?
Pretty quickly. Yeah, very quickly. These endorsements, they accelerate the fashion cycles. They create these seasonal demand spikes that brands are now, keenly aware of.
And try to capitalize on, I bet.
Exactly.
Okay.
But, while there's a lot of sparkle in this market, the path isn't entirely smooth, right?
Mhm.
There are obstacles.
Okay.
What would you say is one of the more significant hurdles brands are kind of navigating right now?
Well, I guess the raw materials themselves must be a constant headache.
That's a big one.
Gold, silver, diamonds, or the foundation, right? And their prices fluctuate so much that directly impacts production costs for brands and, well, our purchasing power as consumers.
Yeah,
I imagine when raw material costs spike, brands might be forced to raise prices or maybe cut into their margins,
that's tough.
which can lead to, demand hesitancy from buyers. Is there any way they're trying to mitigate that risk, or is it just something they have to absorb?
That's a really perceptive observation. It is a constant challenge. And yeah, they largely absorb it, impacting the whole supply chain. But equally significant, I'd say, is the persistent threat of counterfeit and inferior products,
The fakes.
especially prevalent online, in marketplaces that sometimes lack really stringent regulation.
Right.
These fake or low-quality pendants, they often deceive customers, which, well, it understandably leads to distrust.
Of course.
And that can deter future purchases, especially in the premium and luxury segments where brand integrity is just, well, everything.
So it sounds like a truly sparkling market. Yeah. But where there's opportunity, there's often intense competition, too.
Definitely.
Is market oversaturation, particularly in those more affordable segments, also a significant hurdle?
That's a serious challenge, yes, absolutely. With countless brands offering mass-produced, maybe synthetic pendants at low prices, the market can become incredibly cluttered.
Right. Just noise.
Exactly. And this not only pressures profit margins for the, authentic brands, but also dilutes the perceived uniqueness of pendant offerings.
Which is a real issue if people are looking for that personal, authentic thing we talked about earlier.
Precisely. It hits right at the heart of what consumers are increasingly seeking: authenticity and exclusivity.
Okay, so despite these hurdles, though, this market is genuinely glowing with promising trends that are redefining the future of pendants. What stands out to you as maybe the most impactful shift?
A major trend, and I think one that reflects a broader societal shift, is the widespread embrace of sustainable and ethical jewelry practices.
Okay, the ethical side.
Yeah. Modern consumers are increasingly caring about where their accessories come from.
Right, the story behind the sparkle.
Exactly. Brands that promote recycled metals, lab-grown diamonds, conflict-free sourcing, they're gaining significant favor.
Especially with younger buyers, I imagine. Those environmentally and socially conscious consumers.
Very much so. It resonates deeply with them.
So it sounds like for this new generation, the sparkle isn't just about the gem itself, but the story of its origins. Are we seeing a shift where ethical sourcing is becoming as important as, say, carat weight? Is it fundamentally redefining luxury?
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect way to put it. It's a move from conspicuous consumption to conscious consumption.
Conscious consumption, I like that.
For many, a piece's true value now lies as much in its clean supply chain as its inherent material worth. It's a big shift.
Wow. Okay.
And beyond ethics, technology is also having a truly shimmering effect on the market.
You mean beyond just the online shopping part?
Precisely. Think
Uh,
augmented reality, AR, and those virtual try-ons we mentioned earlier.
Right.
They're really enhancing the digital shopping journey. With just a phone or tablet, you can now see how a pendant looks around your neck before you place an order.
No more awkward dressing room mirrors or guessing.
Exactly.
That's brilliant for convenience, and I bet it minimizes returns too. Boost confidence in buying jewelry online.
Definitely boosts confidence. And finally, maybe the most inclusive trend we're seeing, something that really speaks to broader cultural shifts.
Okay, what's that?
Well, lastly, we're witnessing a truly meaningful rise in gender-neutral and unisex pendant designs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, in an era where fashion is becoming much more inclusive, more fluid. Brands are moving away from that rigid male-female segmentation.
So less for him or for her.
Exactly. Minimalist, versatile pendants are now being designed to suit really every identity, age, and lifestyle. It aligns perfectly with today's fluid fashion sensibilities.
That feels like a really positive step. So, okay, what does this all mean for us as consumers and for the market overall?
Hmm.
We've journeyed through the necklace pendants market, and it's clear it's sparkling with new possibilities.
Yeah, sure.
It's truly driven by factors like personalization, that massive growth of digital retail,
Mm,
and a keen adaptation to a diverse, digitally savvy, and as you said, ethically aware consumer base.
that's right.
It just goes to show how these seemingly small accessories can reflect some truly significant societal and technological shifts. It's fascinating.
It really is. And if we connect this to the sort of the bigger picture, consider how this rise of personalized, sustainable, and gender-neutral pendants reflects a really profound shift in consumer values overall. We're seeing a clear move towards authenticity, conscious consumption, and inclusivity across all product categories, not just jewelry.
That's a great point.
So this raises an important question maybe for you to ponder after listening. What other everyday items, perhaps things you use or buy regularly, might be undergoing similar transformations based on these evolving consumer priorities? Where else is this shift happening?